This podcast contains adult language and stories of true crime. If you don't like laughing, crying, or being horrified at the actions of other humans, this podcast is not for you.
Welcome to Resolve Mysteries, our first short stack, listener generated.
Yeah.
Yahoo! If you don't know what this is, we would understand because we've never done one before.
We don't know what it is either.
Yeah, we're just excited to find out.
Yeah.
Join us on this journey.
So we'll tell you, this is where we've been collecting different interesting things that listeners have sent us, and we're going to read them to you. If you would like to do the same thing, you can interact with us on Facebook at Resolve the Pod, on Instagram at _solve mysteries, and then our email is resolvemysteriespodcast@gmail.com. So you can send us interesting things, your favorite unsolved case that's always been something you've thought about, questions for us, just different things. We might read them. So
we will read them.
Okay, we will read it.
We don't
unless
get
it's
that
creepy.
many. Oh, yeah.
Or weird.
Don't be a weirdo.
Yeah, don't be
Be a weirdo. This one comes from... Oh, but now I can't see who it's from.
Welcome to Listener
Yeah, I got it.
Generated.
I'm good at it. I can read. Okay, here we go.
But don't say, "Hey, ladies."
I know. I'm so glad. I am glad you said
ladies.
that. Hey, I'm the Fonz. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Okay. So this first one comes from Jamie on Facebook. We got this a little while ago, and it's 2 messages. Here's the first one. She says, "Hey, ladies." Sorry. I'm a 13-year-old boy.
I was going to say you're a 13-year-old boy.
Cut. Hey, ladies, just wanted to start off by saying how much I love this podcast. Words can't even begin to describe the amount of elation that transcends through my body as I listen to and then anxiously await episodes of your podcast.
You're so sweet.
Love it so much. I have loved Unsolved Mysteries since I was a teen and have enjoyed reliving them in all their 80s glory and finding a newfound appreciation for the show. I especially enjoy the banter between you ladies as well as the updates and stories that breathe new life into a show over 20 years old, making it seem just as relevant today as it was back then. Also, is Jamie a writer? She's incredible.
I mean, she's so eloquent.
And that is a huge compliment because that is exactly why we do this.
Yeah. She says, you can tell you enjoy what you do and are very respectful not only to each other, but to the victim's family and friends. I would also like to be the first to volunteer to be a fill-in should an incident ever arise that one of you is unavailable.
She's like, if I kill one of you.
Should it ever arise.
Just organically.
Oh, she's so sweet. She said, I'm sure I wouldn't be able to do as good of a job as any of you. Yeah, right. But I would sure have fun, and I would be able to add my take on any episode and segment. I'm pretty sure if she came on the podcast, no one would want to listen to us because she's such a good writer.
Yeah. She would embarrass. She would make us feel embarrassed,
Yeah.
and then it would just be her podcast.
Yeah, she can just have it.
No, she can't.
Okay. She says, I also would like to give a book/TV recommendation to you all, something that is a hometown murder for me, an unsolved mystery at that too. The book is called Amy, My Search for Her Killer by James Renner. It was originally published in 2006 and is about a local journalist who is trying to solve the disappearance and murder of 10-year-old Amy Mihaljevic from Bay, I think.
That sounded good to me.
Yeah,
From
wow.
Bay
That's
Village, Ohio, an affluent suburb of Cleveland. It's a fantastic read, and James has done an incredible job of keeping this cold case alive with new leads. It has been an important case to me as I was the same age as Amy, and her body was eventually found in my hometown.
Wow.
There is also a podcast about the case as well called Who Killed Amy Mihaljevic, and a recent investigation discovery series called Lake Erie Murders, which dives even deeper into it. James is a fantastic journalist and man, and because of him and a lot of others, I fully believe the case will be solved sooner or later. Oh, I just got chills. Much like the Golden State Killer, and I would be ecstatic for James and so relieved for Amy's family and loved ones to finally have their closure after over 30 years.
Aww.
She's so sweet. Anyway, my apologies for the lengthy email, and thanks for all you do. Keep up the great work, and remember, maybe you can help solve a mystery. Regards, Jamie. Oh,
She's the best.
so sweet.
So the follow-up is because we talked about this in episode 11 a little bit. So she then messages afterwards. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we mentioned this a little bit in episode 11 and in regards to the book, but we weren't sure what the title was. Now, not only do we know the title, but we also have the book, Who Killed Amy Mihaljevic, by James Renner. We're going to read that. We're excited. In her second message, she says, I hope you do get around to reading it. Not only is it intriguing, and also this year marks the 29th anniversary of Amy's disappearance and murder. She says, please feel free to share the title with your listeners in case this is something they'd enjoy too. Also, you can follow James Renner on Twitter and Instagram at Philosophy of Crime. He posts a lot of fascinating true crime facts and hilarious true crime memes. You know, all the good stuff. Yep, we love all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. Anyway, thanks again. Thanks for being you, and keep on doing what you do. So, Jamie, thank you so much. This is kind of exactly what we want in a short stack, like listener email or message, part of what we want, like something that really means something to you. And it's a case that I don't know anything about, so I'm excited to learn more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love how much you care about Amy and her family in this case. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for writing, Jamie.
Thank you. We will report back on the book for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a question from, I don't even want to try. Kerijade. Yeah, I guess. I was trying to be all fancy with it, but I believe it's Kerijade.
Kerijade.
Kerijade. Via Instagram. Kerijade on Instagram asked us, could you guys talk about the pre-episode warning? Were they really afraid the show would be mistaken as a news broadcast? I believe that Kerijade lives in Canada, so not that would make any difference because most people don't know about the warning beforehand. There was something called the FCC Fairness Doctrine, and it was a way for a media network to show or to make assertions and implications without being held legally accountable. The rule was if you said it had to essentially be fair and balanced. So if you made one claim, you had to make an opposite claim saying like, but there's also the argument for this.
Right.
Yes. So it was revoked in 87, but a show like Unsolved Mysteries, which was brand new at the time, wouldn't have wanted to invite libel suits or any kind of legal stuff because, as we know, they didn't have any money. And they didn't want to get in trouble if they had embellished something as a true story, which we've also seen a little bit of, in terms of dialogue and reenactment stuff. So once the doctrine was pulled, we ended up with things like Rush Limbaugh and Alex Jones and people doing kind of whatever they want on the FCC airwaves. This is not a news broadcast was imperative to Unsolved Mysteries for libel reasons. I don't think there were a lot of people sitting around in 1988 thinking that this was, the 5 o'clock news or the 6 o'clock news. They knew that it was a show, but
They had to have that in there.
They had to have that in there, yeah.
Maybe we can put it in somewhere in this in case people don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think we should play it.
Just like the audio clip.
Oh, of course,
yes. We could put the audio clip in just
I
in
love
case.
audio clips, yes.
I know. I love to give you more work.
This program is about unsolved mysteries. Whenever possible, the actual family members and police officials have participated in recreating the events. What you are about to see is not a news broadcast.
Yeah. So, the main thing was that it was entertainment and it wasn't news. And it was really important. And that's how we ended up with Fair and Balanced News.
Yeah.
With the Fox News Network.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same reason we say allegedly so often.
But Kerijade, that's such a good question.
Yeah, that was a great question. Because I remember thinking that too when I first started watching the show.
Like, really?
Look at these old-timey dummies.
Yeah. But, UM was one of the first, true crime
They were.
shows on television.
Docu-series.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they were, people might not know that.
No, it was pre-America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Reenactments and stuff.
It's so hard. Seriously, it's hard to rewatch it now and be able to look at it with the same eyes that someone did in 1988 and 89.
Yeah.
When it was the first. We can never experience that again.
We have an inherent cynicism about ourselves that just didn't exist then.
Yeah.
Thank you for writing in, Kerijade. And that is why they have that disclaimer in the beginning.
Yeah.
So the next message we got was on Instagram from a user named Mariela541. And she says, "Hey ladies, just finished with allegedly. Great show as always. I also just wanted to comment on the Dolores segment." And she's referring to the segment about Dolores Valadez. "This may seem disconnected, but I am an international adoptee. I was adopted from Colombia and in a part of a bunch of really great online groups of other people who are as well. I really appreciated how you all gave that segment because I know that in our community we talk a lot about the personal trauma and feelings around not knowing where we come from or who we came from. And many of us And many of us also don't know our birthdays. We especially, from Colombia with a lot of historical corruption, often find that much of our paperwork, if we even have any access to it, can be fraudulent. Some of us never find out where or who we came from. Some of us find out that we were kidnapped or given up in shady ways."
Oh my God.
Yeah. I am one of the lucky ones that did find my family and connect with them. But many of the things you were talking about around how it must have felt for Dolores hit home, especially when you talked about how you go through this cycle of having hope and being led down when you find a piece from your history, especially when that piece doesn't match with what you thought you understood. Too real. Anyway, thanks and great job.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this one was super, it hit us in the feels really hard. And again, this is why we do this show, to represent people like this who, these aren't always the stories that you hear, and they're really important to hear.
I didn't even think about international adoption. Mm-hmm. And that comes up a lot in other UM segments just within the United States. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So that was a really important story for us to tell. And just the fact that we gave it justice and, that it meant something to this listener is super important to us.
Yeah, we always question that and hope that that's what we're doing. And so it's nice to hear that it came across that way for sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mariela, for one that was
really moving.
Really moving.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like this is flippant after that, but so we're each of the listener short stocks is going to be 3 or 4 messages from our listeners that we're going to put together to create a little mini epi for you guys. One of the listeners on, you're like, I can do it.
There, I did it. Didn't you hear it?
I fucking nailed that, Allison. God. One of, the listeners that is part of our Facebook group asked the question, what would your ideal crime-related career be? And, in parentheses, yes, being a criminal can be included. And she said, me, either a DNA genealogist or an international jewel thief. So this was asked by Sarah on Facebook, and I immediately commented professional assassin.
Oh my God.
That's Allison.
Hi.
That's Allison.
But I did say that I would ask Eliza and Karlin if they, what would be your superhero or supervillain kind of deal? What do you think?
Superhero?
If you were a superhero, true crime.
What would you do? Would
you
work
in,
in
I didn't think of that.
Or would you okay.
Not a real superhero.
Yeah. I mean, she's a DNA genealogist.
Got it.
I mean, you could be a superhero if you want.
I know what mine would be.
Go ahead.
I mean, if I were being honest about what it would probably be a victim's advocate.
I mean, that's a very realistic one.
Yeah, I have to think about it realistically.
Yeah, I'm going to go non-realistic and say a detective because
that's super realistic. You're so
fucking
smart.
Badass, and that would be amazing.
You could totally do that.
So, just for the record, I'm the only person that would be a professional assassin?
Yeah, I think we could have guessed that. Have you watched? Did you watch what's it called with Sandra Oh? Is that her name?
Not yet.
Girl, you're gonna love it.
What is it called? Tell our
I
listeners.
better find out. They probably know, and they're screaming at me.
Yeah, they're screaming right now.
Sandra
They
Oh
are all
show.
screaming
Killing
at
Eve.
once.
Yeah.
Killing
Killing
Eve's coming soon.
She's an assassin?
No, she's not. Someone else is.
It's
She's
me.
looking.
It's Allison the whole time.
You're in it.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, girl, you're gonna love it.
Well, so This was our first experimental listener-generated short stack.
Yeah.
And if you guys want us to keep talking,
Yeah.
difficult to believe.
I mean, I
but-
guess that's what this is all about.
But if you want to write in, your recommendations or questions or your personal stories, we will absolutely share them and share them and share them.
And we need you too so that we can put these together.
yeah.
So please do
Please.
it. And you can even say, email's great, but depending on where it is, maybe just say, this is something for a short stack so we can know. We've been asking people so far, do you mind if we share this? And everyone has said yes, but it might be easier if you're like, this is specifically for a short stack in whatever you're messaging us on.
yeah, good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. That absolutely.
So thank you.
Yeah, send us your stuff. We'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah. And then bye.
Bye.